Well, this is King Harp. I'm back. I hate to say it, black people. I hate to say it, American Negro. I hate to say it, but we got a long way to go. We still got a hell of a long way to go. At this time, I'm saying to you, I'm pretty much embarrassed. I am embarrassed that my people will overwhelmingly vote for Joe Biden as president candidate across the South like they have done and like we have done as a group. That is embarrassing to me, but it speaks volumes in terms of how politically unastute we are. And I mean politically unastute. We have no political knowledge as a group. We are pushed by narrative. We have a momentum under narrative, and it's not the reality of really what's going on politically. And I thought that we ringing the bell and we got the drum beat for us to be politically aware all in the black media in the region. However, a lot of black people have bought into a social illusion. We continue to think the way we want to think, though how we've set ourselves up. And that's pushed by narrative. And they know who we are in terms of that. That's why it's so easy for them to position black people intellect and mindset. That's what we mean when we say your mindset has been colonized. You, as a black person, to pick Joe Biden, and you got black people calling Joe Biden Uncle Joe, to pick Joe Biden to be a president because he was Barack Obama's right-hand man is pretty much honestly disgusting. This man that you are rallying behind wrote the crime bill for mass incarceration, black women and black men, for your children, your boys and your sons to be incarcerated for mass incarceration in a mass number, overly sentenced for crimes that doesn't deserve the kind of punishment, and just put in jail for no reason, no protection, no protected class citizenship. Joe Biden wrote the crime bill for mass incarceration, and Bill Clinton signed it. Now, Bill Clinton apologized for this. And now, if you're politically astute, you would understand Bill Clinton apologizing for this and almost in tears speaks volumes. That lets you know that he understood what that agenda was. He understood what that policy was and that bill was, and it executed. And when it executed, it put you, my brother, me, and all these black women, kids in jail, where now we giving up our houses and land, trying to get our kids out of jail, us young black men taking plea deals we don't have to take because we are bottom casts in terms of financial support and government policy. We cannot get an attorney and fight for us. We don't know how to fight in the court of law. So we taking plea deals and going to prison for 10, 20, 30 years for things that we can reconcile to. What white people usually do, or people of power, and other groups that are considered people of business exchange, where they have political incentives, where they have money, they have access, they are able to access things in terms of policy. They have an agenda. We don't. And we vote for a person who was actually trying to demise our presence and our kids' presence by incarcerating them and writing the bill and shouting. Joe Biden shouted in the House of Representatives how he was disdained with gangster violence and black people. And I tell you, I understand where your mindset is, but we came to let you know that you have been colonized and intellectually colonized, and that you're asleep and you're a sleeping giant. That's what we came to let you know. And the fact that he's disdained with the war on drugs, Joe Biden, and gangster violence or whatever, and to incarcerate them, well, his children were strung out on drugs, but he didn't incarcerate them. Okay? They had a plan for them. They said that it was a health issue, a health crisis, when their children was strung out on opiates and snorting cocaine, that's a health crisis. But when doing the war on drugs, we were considered to be an issue in terms of being punished. And when the drugs were dropped off in our communities as an exploited group because of private crimes, people who don't have the incentive of choice in terms of wealth as a community sport. So it was a manipulation, first and foremost, that the drugs were brought to us. And then, however, we have people like Joe Biden with an iota against a group for no apparent reasons because of the way he was raised, to continue to demise them and kill them. That's a death sentence. Putting your people in prison in terms of the way prison is set up for black men is a death sentence. Prison is a concentration camp. If you look at Mississippi, Parchman is one main concentration camp that black people disdain with. And this is all because of the crime bill that Joe Biden wrote up himself and had the President Clinton to sign it, which you said was the first black president. This is what they have been doing. This is the manipulation of what they can do to a group that's considered a bottom caste in terms of political agenda and political arena. This is what happens. This is what this looks like. This is the volume that is speaking in terms of who you are and what is happening to you politically. This is what we ringing the bell to. This is why we are talking. This is why reparations is necessary. Reparations is not a check. Reparations is government policy and government anchor, historical anchor of protection in terms of who you are. Historically, it's a correction. It's a repairing of what you have destroyed. The United States of America sanctioned your demise and called you less than a human being, and this is why you're suffering the way you're suffering, because you came from a slave. You came from slaves. Bill Cosby is in prison because he came from slaves. He might not know why he in prison. Bill Cosby may have bought into the illusion that I'm a rich person, I'm a billionaire, I'm among constituents that I'm just like them. He might not know why he's there, but we know why. Because Bill Cosby came from slaves. Now, Harvey Weinstein has been sacrificed. So, yeah, they got him in prison now. They sacrificed him because they know we dead on it. And if we get a trickle-down effect and constantly see them demise black people and let other people free in terms of them being elite, then we will continue to have a trickle-down effect. They know what they're doing. They don't want a trickle-down effect in terms of our thinking and our intellect, so they want to continue to colonize that. And this is what they're doing. But we came to ring the bell. We came to intervene. You petitioning for Joe Biden, rallying behind him, is an embarrassment to a lot of us. And even Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders had the agenda of Latinos, people who just came to the country, which he also did, and to tell us on the Good Morning America that he don't know what reparations is when he's a Jew and a Polish. He know exactly what reparations is because he helped sign the bill for the Jews to get it. He are promoting reparations for Latinos and Hispanics in the country as we speak. We got people that are embodying leadership from other countries, Iran and Pakistan, and all these other countries embody leadership in the Congressional Black Caucus. The Congressional Black Caucus. Institutions that's supposed to support a freed slave that has not been yet politically corrected in terms of what has happened to us. We came here no fault of our own. Matter of fact, we didn't even come here. We were made and shaped and farmed here on breeding farms, as a matter of fact. Like cattle. We built the richest country in the world. That's who we are. We created the country's origin. We invented the country's mechanism. We invented the exchanges of the country, even intellectually. We're the best doctors, the best scholars. Black people know who you are. You have no business running behind Joe Biden because he was Barack Obama's right-hand man. First of all, let me say this to you, which my mama told me not to say, and I'm going to say it anyway. Because my mother is a respectful person, but she's a diehard Democrat, and now she's waking up and understanding it's not about being Democrat or Republican, but it's about having the consciousness of what's going on in terms of that. And I have a Republican mindset, but I would rather vote for nobody before I vote for Joe or Bernie Sanders. We don't have any friends politically. My mother didn't want to hear that. And I told her, don't you vote for Joe Biden? And she got angry. She don't want me to talk about President Obama, but I'm not going to talk about him. I'm going to tell the truth about him. That's not talking about him. So I'm about to let you guys know. President Obama, the American Negro talking to you, was not your president. He was Michelle Obama's husband, and he was the president of the United States of America. Like he said, when it came down to reparations, President Obama said he had no agenda. He closed the gate, he locked it, and he had no conversation to it. He did not speak to that. He let you know there will not be no talking about that in terms of what you want to say. You can ask the Afro Synergy News, Dr. Claude Anderson, many black people. That was even a part of the Congressional Black Caucus. That agenda was not to be discussed with President Obama. And President Obama is an Irish man with a white grandfather. And have a Nigerian father, which is an immigrant. So he was white and he was immigration. That's why he made DACA. Now, he was married to Michelle Obama, which is ADOS, which is FBA, which is Black First, Foundational Black American. But she's not Black First, necessarily. And he ignored and shunned the legacy for the blood lineage of his wife and children because he considered their group, this is how much a bottom caste they're considering us as the American Negro. He considered his own wife's group and the blood lineage of his children not to be valued because he said, I can protect them in terms of my Irishness and my Nigerian bloodstream and my kingship in terms of that. Barack Obama is not the American Negro. He was at your demise in an intellectual way, in a benevolent way. Your demise was even present with the president of Barack Obama that we all voted for, including myself. We went out to the polls overwhelmingly. Black women came out to the polls with hair rollers in their hair. I mean, robes still on. Drunks, whiskey drunks. They never voted before, went to the poll and voted. Old people didn't want to vote inside their homes, absentee, because they were old. They said, take me to the poll. We did that for Obama because he emulated being an American Negro. Because Obama was sent to Chicago to learn how to be us, as a matter of fact. Singing Al Green, singing Amazing Grace. He emulated who we were to embody the position that a Native American could do, which we are Native. We are more Native than any other group besides the Indian, besides the Native Indian, because we are born and bred in the breeding grounds of America. Our blood is in this soil, our bones. Everywhere we walk, we are the country. If you don't know the history, if you don't know who we are, and we don't know we are this country, we are America. The black man is America. And if you don't know that, you don't know enough. And black people don't know who they are. We don't know who we are. And that's why we ringing the bell. We telling you guys, your intellect and your intelligence have been colonized by narrative and power. Power structure. People who are considered to be over you in terms of power and media presence. They're telling you what they want you to know and getting you to rally behind them in terms of your own and sanction your own demise. This is what's going on. So I am really, letting you know, you got people you got Ilhan Omar, Rashida from Pakistan, Ilhan Omar, all these people embodying leadership in the Congressional Black Caucus to make their groups important, eating off the fruits and the milk and honey of the United States of America, the richest country in the world, that the slave had to build for free labor, which is us, and the Constitution had to value our existence, everybody is accessing that, including the birthright citizenship of that, and catapulting above us in terms of business, entering our banks, entering our database in terms of being a citizen, coming here and being constituted as important, and have candidates from the Democrat Party that are representing them in community and leadership, embodying leadership in our institutions. We are the history, and we are the bones that made, and the blood and the guts that made this country sprout muscle. We're the flesh that made this country sprout muscle. And everybody coming here, accessing the freedom and the milk and honey through our identity, our blood lineage. And this is what we're saying today. And we have not been corrected. And we don't have reparations. And we have not have any political incentives as our riches. We don't have our inheritance as a people for our community to sustain any type of wealth. They have made us contagion to wealth because we have no political incentive, you see, and we're not politically astute. We turn away from politics. When Martin Luther King got shot, black people scattered. Malcolm X was assassinated, everything scattered. When the Black Panthers was devoured by power and militant force, black people scattered. That was the whole idea, to shut black people's mouths and keep us from becoming on an equal playing field inside our country of origin and the grounds of our captivity as an heir of a slave. This is what this is. We understand why Oprah Winfrey's slipping down on floors, because she come from a bottom caste in terms of what the United States have made her, even as a billionaire. Bill Cosby also. We got to understand what this is in terms of what we're experiencing today. We don't want to be subservient to the richest country in the world that we built. My ancestors built. My ancestors built the richest country in the world. We the richest country, and this the first world nation. This is where it's at. This is where the money is. This is where the business is at. We here. This is where we at. We were created to be subservient to a society and to bring wealth to a nation for 400 years. And haven't been corrected. And we got the Jews sitting up in here with corrective incentives, political incentives, Koreans, Chinese that was in Japanese that was in concentration camp, Indians who were pillars of their communities. We have them sitting in places of eliteness, white people that get reparations because they lost slaves, that's got land right now that they can sell in exchange for billions and billions of dollars, living off inheritances. And we're voting for people who trying to demise us and say that we are supposed to be incarcerated, mass incarceration, and get behind Bernie Sanders. They're going to black churches, eating chicken and fried chicken with y'all and telling y'all they should be voting. That is offensive. You don't see nobody going to the Catholic Church promoting no political agenda where your God is. That's foremost and very offensive to come inside a place where someone God is, where they are moved in spirit, for you to come in there and a political agenda and to interrupt where your family is to worship for your God. That's a very docile place of exchange, but a very also passionate place, the church. And the church is one of the main problems. And I'm very embarrassed and I'm very disdained with that exchange. And I understand that, and I am a slave descendant. I'm American Negro on both sides of my family. My family came from slaves, and I have Irish in me because of the white people mixing, and I know who they were. I am the American Negro. Blood lineage. I built the country. Everything that run through my vein is native to this country. I built this country. Blood sacrifice, free labor. I created the origin of this country. I am the history of this society. I'm the milk and honey that you are eating as an immigrant and every other group that is elite. I am your bread and your water. And I need to be corrected in the political agenda. in terms of who I am and my inheritance and my importance. And I'll be dang gone and damned if my own group gonna keep demising me by running behind a narrative. And that's black people overwhelmingly vote for Joe Biden. For what? You don't have no candidate. If you don't want to do President Trump, and as a matter of fact,